Are you scared to polarize your audience? Are you scared to let people know where you stand on stuff? Are you still trying to win everyone over? Are you still trying to get everyone to love you? You know that that is a one-way ticket to failure. And I know what you're thinking. Everyone loves Tom Hanks, right? Who doesn't love Tom Hanks? Don't be Tom Hanks and me. You know, as an entrepreneur, that the only way to win is to polarize your audience, to take a stand. Let's take a little quiz. A, do you want half the people to love you and half the people to hate you? Or do you want B? Do you want to kind of be okay with everyone? Everyone thinks you're fine. Everyone thinks you're okay. Well, I got to tell you, you know what? The very first one gets presidents elected, and the second one gets you a job at Denny's. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody thinks you're okay. Are you polarizing your audience? You have to ask yourself this question. I'll admit it, I want everyone to like you. And I want everyone to like me too. In fact, hit like right now, right? Go ahead, hit the like, hit subscribe. Show me that you like me because I want it as much as everyone else. But you know what? It doesn't work in business. It doesn't work if you're an entrepreneur. So how do you polarize your audience? Well, there are a million ways to do it, but I'll just share a couple with you and a couple of examples. Number one, okay, I'll give you an example of how a company did it with a name. So there was this fan company, I wrote it down, HVLS Fan Company, right? Boring name. And what did they sell? They sold these big fans that you have at the top of arenas and community centers, right? But their fans, their audience would call them, their prospects would call them and say, hey, are you the company that sells those big ass fans? And so a marketing person challenged them. I think that that's what the story is. Anyway, they changed their name to Big Ass Fans. Talk about polarizing your audience. Oh my God. There were people who wanted to ban them. They put up a billboard and people didn't want to show it. They had complaints. People hated it, except for the ones who loved it. And they are hugely successful. Last I read, they have 5 locations. They got a ton of free publicity. That's one way to polarize your audience, with a name. Another way to polarize your audience is by taking a stand on something, a controversial stand. Who did this? Robert Kiyosaki did this. You know, the guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he got famous by saying that your house is not an asset. Well, we were brought up to think your house is the biggest asset you will ever own, the biggest asset you will ever buy. And he says, no, an asset is not something you pour money into. An asset is something that, you know, pops money out. And he got a ton of publicity because of his controversial stand. This kind of controversy gets presidents elected. It also can be a little bit risky, and you know what? I get it. Nobody wants to be unpopular. Nobody wants to be disliked. We all want to be liked, like Sally Field said at the Oscars years ago. You like me, you really like me. Everybody wants to fit in, but you know what? It is totally impossible to fit in with everybody, especially if you're being real, especially if you're being authentic, especially if you are being you. Right? If you take a stand, some people will agree and some people will disagree. Some people will like you, some people will love you, and some people will hate you. But you know what? Everyone will know where you stand, which makes the ones who love you more, right? Your stand is your brand. I'm not suggesting polarizing on purpose. I'm not suggesting just polarizing to provoke, to be controversial. Some people do that, and that is playing with fire, my friends. And you know what happens when you play with fire? You might get burnt, or worse, you might not even recognize yourself. That's a big fat yuck for me, right? Some people, they do outrageous, controversial, provocative things just to get attention, just to polarize. I am not suggesting you do that. That's a short-term win. But if you commit to be real, if you commit to be authentic, even when you're unpopular, especially when you're unpopular, if you commit to be true to you, then this polarizing thing will happen naturally. So, do you have the courage to be real, to be authentic, to take a stand? That is the key to following that dream as an entrepreneur. Do you dare to be you, right? I considered ending this video by issuing a challenge to you. I dare you to be polarizing. But you know what? I won't do it. And I'll tell you why. Because that's a decision that you need to make. Because it's risky. I don't want you to do it because of a challenge. I don't want you to do it because of a dare. But you might want to do it because it works. Polarizing your audience might not be comfortable, and hey, there's nothing wrong with a good job at Danny's. So, comment below. Have you ever polarized your audience? Is this something you would consider doing? If you have done it, what did you do? We want to know. And leave a comment. How does this feel, this whole concept of polarizing your audience? Are you just looking for an easy, secure life, or do you really want to follow that dream? Hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you in our Follow That Dream community. Ciao, ciao.